Okay. Okay, gentlemen, you both received your instructions in your dressing room. Okay, right here is good, anything below that's low. Right here is good, anything below that's low. I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times, above all, protect yourselves at all times. Let's go.
You're looking at two fighters who have essentially willed themselves to this position in the sport. Robert Garcia wants Bam Bam Rios to do what he's always done. Teddy Atlas wants Tim Bradley now to skill himself past Rios.
Boy, does Tim Bradley have a mouse under his left eye?
It looks like it, Jim.
Could that be meaningful as the fight progresses?
If Brandon can connect with it and make it swell up, yes, it can.
I mean, if Rios can connect with it.
Rios, yes.
Round one begins. Bradley focusing on his jab as he lands the first few shots in the fight. We asked Teddy Atlas what would be the signs he would look for in the first 2 or 3 rounds to see whether Bradley was doing the things that he wanted him to do. And he focused on footwork. He said, is he getting to the spots that he wants to get to before Rios can get there? Is he anticipating where Rios will go and beating him to that place? Is he fighting him where he wants to fight him? Those are the questions that I will have in my mind as I watch him for the first 2 or 3 rounds.
Is 7 weeks enough in terms of Bradley's muscle memory to do new things under the crucible of the action in the ring?
Well, he's doing a good thing with his jab already. That seems good.
I think I already see more foot movement. Much less standing in front of Rios and more moving around him, stepping in, stepping out, creating angles for his punches.
Yes, I see the same thing, Jim, but this is what you have to wonder about that. Will the foot movement take too much energy away from him to have stuff to war with in the end if it becomes a war?
As Rios will want it to be.
So far, what's got to be encouraging for Bradley is that he's doing what he wants to do. He's dictating on what terms the fight is being fought when the action takes place, and he's not sticking around too long to get countered after he gets these shots off.
And by doing so, he's limiting Rios' punch output to flurries instead of the steady stream that Brandon Rios much prefers.
But right now you see him sitting there fighting, Jim, because you knew it was going to come to this. As soon as he tasted enough leather, he was going to start fighting back. So I think shortly here, we're going to have us a phone booth battle.
We already do.
I think Bradley feels comfortable in there right now and doesn't feel that he's in danger. We'll see if he's right.
Bradley landed several body shots in there. Rios got in a couple shots upstairs. And now they go back to work in the center of the ring. Here's the footwork again.
Oh, good body shot by Brandon.
Really good body shot.
That hurt Rios.
I agree.
That hurt Rios, and Brandon knows it.
Momentarily, Rios stood still after the hard body shot by Tim Bradley.
One of the things that Teddy talked to Bradley about is the fact that Rios has a way of taking punches that encourages you to enter his style of fight. And that's one of the things that makes Rios successful.
Seconds to go in round one. Hard right hand by Bradley. Big left hook upstairs. Round one dominated by Tim Bradley, who set the pace and fought the way he wanted to fight.
Beautiful boxing.
Very beautiful.
Good first round. Good. Now listen to me. Everything we expected, but I don't want you to get greedy. Sometimes I don't need 4 punches inside. I need 2 or 3 and then off to the side. If you're going to throw more than 2 or 3, I want it thrown on the side, not in front of them. Now, when you're in front of them, get your head on good position, good defensive position. Where's the water? I want good defensive position. And when you're on the side, you can clip them to the side and then go around them, travel around them.
Right hand shot, short right hand shot. Let's chop it in there, right? Okay? Okay. All right, breathe. How do you feel? Good, good, good. What, do you feel power? No. Good. That's it. Good on the inside.
Who wants to move you?
CompuBox numbers in round one, quite one-sided. Bradley 34 out of 71. Rios only 7 landed punches out of 40 thrown. Isn't it interesting that Brandon Rios is born in Lubbock, Texas, lived much of his life in Garden City, Kansas, has lived for the last several years in California. Robert Garcia speaks Spanish to him when he wants to get a point across.
And you don't expect from the counterpunch, you don't expect Rios to do a lot of connecting and winning early in the fight. He's a late fighter. He's a guy who wants to come on. He's a slow starter somewhat, but like that's a good hook by him right there. But the later the fight goes, the better he usually gets.
Bradley, jab, jab, jab. Rios misses with a left hook. Good hook to the body by Rios.
Hold him, hands free. Go hold him. Hands free. Stop. Let him up. Watch that.
Referee Tony Weeks. Extremely prominent here in Las Vegas in recent years. Right hand over the top by Bradley. Draws oohs and ahs from the crowd. Another right hand by Bradley.
Bradley's trying to box smartly.
Well, one of the reasons I asked whether Brandon Rios has the punching power to thrive in the welterweight division, Max, is that he has no head movement. And Bradley is able to hit him pretty easily with headshots.
Yeah, but he's a light heavyweight tonight, Brandon Rios. So he does not have power in the light heavyweight division, but fortunately for him, he's fighting at welterweight.
Good uppercut by Brandon on the inside.
Oh, good right hand by Rios as Bradley stepped away with his hands down.
And looked like he felt that shot, felt the effects of those shots, got wobbled a little.
Of course, he's 15 pounds lighter.
Stop. Let him out.
There was a subtle shift in this round, even before Bradley got caught with that shot. Rios was able to start pressuring him and start dictating the terms of the fight, even as Bradley was outboxing him. That did not happen in the first round.
100%. Rios made clear in the first 20 seconds of this round that it wasn't going to be like round one. He was going to throw regardless of the consequence.
Now Bradley's right where he doesn't want to be, which is right in there with Rios, because this is Rios' fight.
Yep, Teddy said he doesn't mind him in there for 2 or 3 shots.
Low blow by Rios was on the opposite side from Weeks. He didn't see it.
But doesn't want Tim getting greedy, staying in there too long so he can be countered or caught.
This is the fight that Brandon definitely wants.
Another hard body shot by Rios right on the belt line.
Stop. Let him up.
So he's landed a left hook low and a left hook at the belt line. 2 solid body shots in the last 30 seconds by Brandon Rios. Round 2 is different from round 1.
Remember that punch that I asked you for. Remember that. Don't forget that. Don't forget it.
Here you see Tim Brandon on the inside land a good little chopping overhand right. Probably the best right hand he's landed so far. Landed high on the head of Brandon Rios though.
CompuBox numbers in round 2. CompuBox found Bradley landing 28 out of 48 and Rios 12 out of 61. But throwing 61 to Bradley's 48 changed the momentum of the fight for Brandon Rios. Yeah, sometimes it's what you land, sometimes it's what you throw.
Bradley came out in the first round and then again in this round looking like he was the boss, like he was dictating. And in the second round, he did not have that same kind of intensity to start the round. The question is, coming out with that intensity, can Bradley sustain that and control Rios?
Hands free. Don't hold him, Bradley. Hands free. Stop.
Tony Weeks telling Bradley not to hold.
It's like a discouraging situation here, Jim. You want to box. But the more you try to box, this guy's constantly walking you down. So you feel like you're giving him somewhat of an advantage. And that's what's going to cause Tim Bradley to have to sit down and fight a little bit more, because he feels like he's going to use all of his gas just trying to box. And it's going to be to no avail because Brandon doesn't care that you box. He's just going to keep coming.
And that's what When Teddy describes what he wants Tim Bradley to do, the style of boxing, it reminds me of some middleweights in the 60s, Georgie Benton and others, who they weren't all big knockout punchers, and they were responsible defensively, but they put on good fights, professional fighting.
Ruben Carter, Joey
He was aggressive. Giardello was more of a boxer.
Yeah.
Good right hand by Bradley.
Oh, hard body shot by Bradley, and Rios momentarily bent over.
No, that was a low blow, Jim.
Low blow.
Yeah, that was a low blow.
Okay.
And Rios managed to get Tony Weeks' attention on the low blow. Ironic, because Rios got away with a couple of good ones in the second round.
Yep, but Weeks saw that one. That one was right in front of him.
Yep.
See, Brandon's smart. He's making Tim work very hard to get him out of what the coach wants him to do. The coach wants him to throw 1 or 2 and leave, but Brandon knows if I keep the pressure on him, he can't throw 1 or 2 and leave. He got to stay here and fight me back.
Well, when Brandon Rios is on, you are going to be in a high-intensity fight. There's no way you're going to be able to ward it off.
And that's what he's doing right now. And that's what's going to make it very difficult and make it hard for Tim to do exactly what Teddy wants all night long.
Especially because he has to think before he does it, because he's not used to doing it.
That's exactly right, Max.
Both of them are digging hard, venomous body shots into each other's bellies. Good right hand across the top by Bradley, and he steps away.
Hi, every round, 3 minutes. 3 minutes at a time. All right? I want that concentration high every round. Every round! You drop your right hand a little bit. I do not want you throwing left hooks in front of him. On the side, not in front of him. I don't want to give him space for shots. Okay. Do not be leading with left hooks in front. Now listen.
You're throwing it very slow. You gotta be fast. Big that hard.
Time is jab, but it's gotta be inside. Okay?
The jab and the uppercut. Okay, son, you good? Okay. Let's go.
Se puede, Brandon. Se puede.
You can do it, Brandon. You can do it.
Let's find the fight we want anyway, so let's go, Brandon. Okay? Vamos, amigo. Right?
Round 4 of a scheduled 12 between Timothy Bradley, Desert Storm right there listening to Teddy Atlas's final instruction, and Brandon Rios. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim, I got it 2 rounds to 1, 29-28, Timothy Bradley. You know, Jim, in round 1, I thought he clearly outworked him, he outboxed him, landed nice left jabs, and he landed some good roundhouse shots. I'm talking about Tim Bradley. In round 2, I thought Brandon Rios came back and did really well. He landed some really hard shots and started to fight his fight. But in round 3, Bradley seemed to take it away from him again. He outworked him just like he's doing now. Threw more punches, outworked him. Good defense, you know, kept moving. 2-1, Tim Bradley.
Bradley may be well served to go back to the body with that right hand, Roy, because that has been the most damaging punch of the fight so far.
Yes, it has, and he missed Brandon with an overhand right just a little while ago. That would have been really, really bad if he'd have caught him, because Brandon wasn't ready for it.
Don't hold him, man. Don't hold him. Don't hold him.
Max Kellerman, you made the point before the fight that Timothy Bradley might be vulnerable tonight in his first appearance with Teddy Atlas. And as this transition takes hold but has not had time to really settle in his career, is part of the problem that Bradley will fight to please the trainer and forget about beating Brandon Rios.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons this pairing with Teddy could be great for Tim Bradley, great for both of them, because Tim will actually employ what he trains to do. But has there been enough time for it to, as you said, sink in, for it to become muscle memory? He will try to do the right thing, but that requires extra thinking. And that can also wear a fighter out physically, the mental energy that takes.
That's free.
Not only that, the pressure of Brandon Rios constantly bearing down on you for 12 rounds. Good body shot by Bradley.
Right, Rios is an especially dangerous fighter, considering those circumstances.
Bradley has the quicker hands, though. He's throwing more punches than Rios, and he's landing at an exceptionally high rate.
But this is what Brandon wants, Jim. He wants him to wear himself down as much as he can so that in the later rounds, he can be more equipped to get him out of there. He wants to wear Bradley down as much as he can in these early rounds.
And he doesn't care how many times Bradley hits him. He'd be insulted if he didn't, right?
As long as it doesn't knock him out, he's fine with it. But Bradley doing some smart things, going to the body hard.
Bradley should stay with that right hand to the body. That's been his best punch in terms of inflicting damage.
Oh, good shot by Bradley.
And stepped around to throw it.
Perfect, just like Teddy told it.
I got you. I'm up. Get you out. We're done.
That was judicious use of a clinch. Hadn't been too many of them, but that was a smart time to do it.
And there's a look at Teddy Atlas's daughter, Nicole. She's an attorney. He's obviously extremely proud of her. And he also trusts her advice and her counsel and her awareness of him in his life. And when he was considering the possibility of coming to work for Timothy Bradley, and he had said to his family members, I'm not going to train anymore, I'm finished with it. Nicole was the one who said to him, Dad, you're a teacher. Teaching is what you do. This is an opportunity for you to teach somebody who will be a great and willing student. You should do it. Teddy said that was the turning point in causing him to take this chance.
And what Teddy Jr., the fella sitting next to her just there, you saw on the screen, that's Teddy's son, gave him very similar advice.
All right, around them, okay? Deep breath, deep breath.
CompuBox numbers in the fourth round. Bradley with a tremendous round, 33 out of 87. Rios, 14 out of 62. Bradley with a 27-13 advantage in power punches. The numbers are going to weigh in Bradley's favor for the first several rounds. That's just the way it is. But Rios, as Roy Jones told you in the last round, doesn't care how much he's going to get hit. His job is to stay in the fight, try to wear Bradley down, and come on to overtake him in the late rounds.
The odds for this fight were pretty wide for Tim Bradley. Considering, I understand them, considering both of their careers to date, but especially considering how badly Bradley looked hurt by that Jesse Vargas punch. Jesse Vargas, not a big puncher at the end of his last fight. Rios, a better puncher than Vargas and a much more relentless fighter.
But he doesn't stay set as often as Vargas does.
If Brandon Rios could have stayed at lightweight for his entire career, I think he might have become the best lightweight fighter in the world. At welterweight, it's a much more difficult proposition.
Big right hand, and Rios winks at Bradley after taking it.
I think that's saying a lot, Jim, saying the best lightweight in the world. He might have been the toughest lightweight in the world, but I don't know if he'd have been the best one because he's not really a guy who depends on skills. He's a guy who just depends on heart.
But I know what Jim means, Roy, in the sense that Rios had that thing about him that made you think he might be able to outkick his coverage. You know, he might be able to get more than than anyone should get out of his ability.
Well, about 6 years ago, that discussion was about Juan Manuel Marquez, who was at that moment the best lightweight in the world. And the question was, could Marquez, with his finesse, with his boxing style, stand up to the hard guy, Rios, who would have gone right at it?
Would have been a great fight, but I'll tell you what, this is a pretty good one right now.
This is excellent. Bradley's landing some very hard, clean shots, and as Rios makes clear with his mugging.
And though his hands were down on the inside, he did slide off to the angle as Teddy asked.
Stop, I got
He landed several punches, but Teddy said, if you're going to do that, do it on the side, which is what Bradley did.
He didn't stay right in front of him.
He's a willing pupil.
Old habits die hard, though.
Yeah, there he is.
He likes to lead with a left hook standing in front of Brandon Rios. No matter how many times that Teddy Atlas tells him not to do it, it may not go away all at once.
Well, and he's had tremendous success with Joel Diaz for many years, doing it a certain way. When the going gets rough, the fighters resort to doing what they've always done. It takes time to unlearn things.
When they fight at a distance, when Tim Bradley can stand back, look at Rios, and extend his arms, he is totally dominant.
Because you could take a punch, doesn't mean fucking they could hit you as many times as they want. Let's go. Bend your knees and fucking work on the inside.
Here you see Bradley throw a jab and go get low and come over the top of Brandon's jab with an overhand right, then right on the button. That was a good punch by Tim Bradley, and he slipped Brandon's right. Once again, he comes over the top, this time with a more straight right hand. Brandon tried to roll the shoulder, but was a little slow.
CompuBox numbers on punches to this point in the fight. Bradley 155 out of 333. That's 47%. And Rios 48 out of 264. So to this moment in the fight, by CompuBox count, Bradley has more than tripled Brandon Rios' number of landed punches, landing 107 more of them.
I like what Bradley's doing, Jim. You mentioned at the end of the last round, at arm's length, there's not a lot Rios can do. But as Roy mentioned earlier, if Bradley simply moves, Rios gets ahead of steam. Think Margarito Cotto. Bradley's breaking that momentum at times and breaking Rios' rhythm by fighting on the inside and pushing him back. But Bradley's doing it when he wants. He's dictating when he does it. And when that's the case, he's in very good shape.
Exactly. He's throwing some really good shots too tonight. You see him throwing some hooks with really bad intention on him. Something that I've never seen from him before.
Rios seems to be bothered around his right eye. And Bradley hits that right eye with a left hook. And now sticks a jab in it. Rios hasn't thrown anything of consequence since he began rubbing his right eye with his glove.
There's Bradley's head on the side as Teddy wants. And then he gets out.
Good quick left hook, and he moves away.
He's doing much smoother, much quicker punches on the inside.
Four-punch combination, all with the left hand.
Now the danger here for Bradley is he needs to keep doing the right thing all night. Rios can do the wrong thing all night. He only needs to do the right thing one time if he can hurt Bradley with one of his power shots.
Bradley's making it very difficult for him though by pushing him back on the inside, like you said, Max.
Yep. And Garcia knows what he has in his charge because they've been together for so long. They speak shorthand in the corner and they're very much on the same wavelength. Robert Garcia and Rios in the corner.
I don't think I've ever seen Tim Bradley this effective as a combination puncher.
Me either.
Whether it's because the target is easy or whether it's because he has stepped up the level of his game is unclear at this moment, but he is looking terrific to this point in the fight.
I think it's a little bit of both.
This is a much better boxing Tim Bradley than we've seen recently. You can see the change, and you can also see that it's not the whole fighter he might become, but it's the first step in that direction.
And the pattern continues of Bradley landing 3 times as many clean punches as is the case for Brandon Rios.
And Brandon just slipped some punches.
Imagine that.
You give your headbutt. Yeah. Brandon, it's 2 rounds. We haven't done anything.
Keeping the rounds away. You're not even blocking correctly, man. You gotta stay low, stay hands up high, block, but you gotta be more aggressive. You gotta throw more punches, Brandon. We're halfway through already, Brandon. Like that, you know, every round's going to him. Can't do that, Brandon. Vamos, mijo.
Come on, son. You gotta put more guts into it. You can do it.
Show me 6 rounds. What we got? Come on. This is not what we fucking train for. Come on, then. Let's go. This is not what fucking we have in our mind. Tenemos fucking better fucking plans. Let's go. This is not gonna work like that. Let's go, Brandon. Show me
his second move. And I do not want you pulling out straight.
Robert Garcia tries a pep talk with Brandon Rios. See if he can get a higher energy level. A little bit more commitment in the ring. Doesn't like what he's seen so far. And Bradley begins the round with a clean combination. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim. I've got it 5-1, 59-55 Timothy Bradley. I I don't know what's wrong with Brandon Rios, Jim. It's not his night. I mean, the guy's really not getting off. You know, he's not throwing all those good hard shots, the kind of shots that knock you out. Hey, look at this. He's standing in the middle of the ring. You know, he slaps him a couple of times, and then he covers up. I mean, it's not Brandon Rios. On the other hand, Timothy Bradley moving, piling up points, combinations inside, wonderful left jabs when he moves, good left hooks. He's doing it all. 5-1, Tim Bradley.
Max Kellerman has gone to Bradley's corner to talk to Teddy Atlas. Max?
Teddy, what do you see so far?
No, I see our game plan. I mean, a guy that's going to come forward all night long and gives us opportunities to take things before he gets to where he wants to get to. You know, the whole idea is control the geography of the ring. Don't let him get to where he wants, him being Rios. Don't let him get to where he wants to get to. Catch him. We got two things. Catch him as he comes in or counter him as he comes in and move around him. When you are inside, be in good, strong defensive positions, but don't stay there too long.
We're very impressed with how much Tim has seemed to absorb in 7 weeks. Is he doing a good job of implementing what he's learned?
Yeah, very good. I mean, very good. Listen, you're kind of easy to impress anyway, Max. I mean, but no, I mean, listen, but it's not over. We got to do it all night long. Everyone has different skill sets. You see our skill sets that use. The other guy's skill set is to come forward and come forward and come forward and try to get you to relent, whether it's his 5th round, 6th round, or 10th round. We can't let that happen. We got to keep our concentration all night long.
Thanks, Ted.
Less than a minute to go in round 7. No change in the basic dynamics of the fight. Robert Garcia asked Rios for more energy, asked Rios basically to be more like Brandon Rios and Roy Jones. Hasn't happened in this round.
No, Jim, I think a lot of this is that year layoff. You know, when you lay off and you gain so much weight, your body gets used to moving around at that heavier weight, and it's harder to get yourself back to being quick and sharp as you used to be. So most of his camp probably was spent trying to make the weight. That's why he ballooned back up to 170 tonight. With that being said, he doesn't have a lot of days in the gym of being sharp. Most of his days have been slow, heavy, and this is how he's looking tonight. So he has more days of training like this than he does of training sharply because of that weight gain, which is a result of the year layoff.
Hey, I got a secret to tell you. Didn't I tell you the rounds would fly if you concentrate? Did I tell you? I told you the rounds would fly by if you concentrate, right? All you got is 15 minutes. Can you be strong for 15 minutes? Can you? Yeah. Listen, your concentration's weaving a little bit. Pick it up. Okay. Pick it up! Okay. Don't pull it straight out. Bend your knees and be strong on the inside and go around them. Let's control the outside. Look, the fire's coming. Are you ready for the fire? We're firemen. Okay. We are firemen!
Got it, Coach.
The heat doesn't bother us. We live in the heat. We train in the heat.
Yeah, let's go.
It tells us that we're ready. We're at home. We're where we're supposed to be. Flames don't intimidate us. What do? We control the flame. We control them. We move the flame where we want to. And then we extinguish them.
Control that kind of urgency in a fight in which he's winning every round. What's it going to be like if he's ever in trouble?
Well, Tim's father gave him a kind of football-style upbringing, and Teddy just gave him a football speech in the corner, and Tim responded to it. You could see it. He was
look at this.
digging it.
Look at this. It's like flipping a switch. I think this could turn out to be a perfect trainer-fighter relationship.
I think it can too, Jim.
I mean, they're made for each other to a certain degree.
Well, let's see if Bradley cannot get caught with something that hurts him in these next several rounds. Rios continues to come forward with a 15-pound weight advantage tonight, 170 to 155 tonight on our unofficial scale. Bradley's had a way of making easy fights tough in the last couple of years.
That was a good 1-2 by Bradley right there.
Don't hold him, man. Don't hold him.
What do you suppose Rios did last night to put on 23 pounds? Now I know the bulk of it is rehydration and the consumption of a glycogen type fluid like Pedialyte.
Yep.
And that's the basic MO, right?
Yes, it is. That's the basic MO, but your body has to know that weight already in order for you to be able to go back there that quick. If it's not where you came from, then your body won't go there so quick. But when that's where you came from and depleted it down to 147, it immediately goes right back to that spot.
I suspect salty food too, and things that'll
tacos
retain water.
He loves tacos.
Yeah, no, he's quite open about it. And his camp is open about the fact that he doesn't always stick to the diet.
And Robert Garcia is bemused about it. He smiles when talking about the difficulty of dealing with Brandon Rios.
Well, he knows what he has.
And he loves the guy.
You got to, Jim. With a heart like Brandon Rios, you got to love him. Because although he's not going to do everything the right way or the way you ask him, when that bell rings, he's going to give you everything that he has. So you got to love him.
Come on, let him go, let him go.
It's not his fault that he didn't fight in a year, I don't think. Just wish he would have been active coming to a fight like this. But Tim is looking very good. Best I've ever seen him throw combinations. The best I've ever seen him pick his punches. His choice of punches at the right time. I mean, he looks like a rejuvenated fighter here.
And what he hasn't done is to stand directly in front of Rios and offer Rios an opportunity to change the fight. Never once has he done that.
Not at all.
What the fuck is going on, Brandon? Let's go. Come on. 4 fucking rounds left. 4 fucking rounds to go, Migo. Come on, Brandon. Migo, you're disappointing everybody. You're just fucking waiting. You're not doing nothing. Slow, just picking your body up. If he hits you, you smile. That's just not winning rounds. Because you could take a punch doesn't win rounds.
And I want you to use that jab and step over the way you are to your left. Use that jab, step to your left. And then what that's going to do is that's going to create him. That motion is going to create a motion for you where you can then move to the right and set something else up. Give me some water. You understand? I don't want you laying in front. He needs your help to win this fight. To make a mistake, to lay in front too long. Control the outside, keep your concentration. Don't drop those hands.
Power punches through 8. Timothy Bradley, 153 out of 290, 53%. That's pretty good, although on the undercard we saw Vasily Lomachenko land 2/3 of his power punches. Brandon Rios, 65 out of 342. That's 19% once again. Bradley is basically tripling Rios in all the statistical categories, landing 3 times as many punches, throwing more, landing twice as many, maybe 3 times as many power shots. It's just an easy win so far for Timothy Bradley.
And you heard Robert Garcia in the corner give Rios the straight dope. He's like, you take a punch and smile or shake your head. That doesn't win rounds. You got to go get him.
Don't hold him.
Well, I think at round 9, we're probably beyond the winning rounds issue now. This is either you're going to reel him in with an amazing knockout, or it's going to be more of the same down to the finish of the fight.
For those listening to us focus on Teddy and the training he does with Bradley, you might think, well, look, Bradley and Rios, given what they've both done in their careers, Bradley's supposed to beat Rios. But it's the way in which he's beating Rios. It's the pitfalls that he's avoiding, that he's made in recent fights. And it's the application of what he's learned in an advanced way in a very short amount of time.
My hands free. Hold him. Stop. Let him go.
Does it put him on the same level with his buddy Terrence Crawford?
As what?
As a potential opponent for Pacquiao at 140 or 147.
As a potential Pacquiao opponent, yes. But Crawford is in his physical prime and fighting in rarefied air right now. With the likes of Chocolatito and Lomachenko.
Well, for instance, we asked Lomachenko yesterday, who do you look at as somebody else who's on your level? And the first name he produced was Terrence Crawford.
I got you. Stop. Let him up.
Good shot by Tim.
What a body shot.
Yep.
As we saw in the first fight with Lomachenko, sometimes a guy with a really good beard never stopped. But look what happens.
Down goes Rios on an uppercut following 3 straight super solid body shots by Tim Bradley.
7.
And Rios doesn't look like he's eager,
9.
but he does get up.
You good, Brandon? All right, I'm giving you a chance, all right? Here we go.
Brandon's got a lot of heart, but he's taking a lot of punishment from a really good fighter who is fighting his best. And Brandon can't even throw. Down again. That's going to be the end of the fight.
Yep.
Tony Weeks is going to wave it off. A knockout victory for Tim Bradley with 11 seconds left in round 9.
You can't do better than that. First time out with a new coach. And as a trainer, you can't do better than that first time out with a new fighter.
Monica Bradley, manager of and wife of, and pretty happy right now. Biggest fan of, by the way. And Teddy Atlas, maybe the second biggest fan.
So one thing to say to you. My man. My man! My man, we did, baby.
Champ, let the doctor sit right quick.
Let me get some water. Right here, coach. Give me a phone.
A marriage made in the ring. Timothy Bradley and Teddy Atlas produce a masterpiece in their first outing together.
Yeah, it was a beautiful masterpiece. You saw him going to the body, going to the head. You know that Rios just was not prepared tonight with the big weight gain you saw. That year off really hurt him. And with that being said, Tim took advantage of it.
Here's the first knockdown, Roy.
Yeah, you see Bradley going from left to right. Beautiful body shots right there. Those are the ones that really caused the knockdown. The body shot, then another uppercut. And that body shot is really what went down. The uppercut didn't even really land. It's the body shot that caused him to go down.
And now here's the end of the fight.
And
As
he's
Rios,
on attack. Another body shot, right body, left body, hook to the head. Another right body shot, pity pat. Another body shot, and down Rios goes again.
Bradley probably fortunate that he didn't catch the back of Rios' head with that last shot as Brandon was bending forward to go down in front of him. And Timothy Bradley shrugging his shoulders as if to say, good enough?
No, thank you so much, guys. Hey, I appreciate Thank you, sir. No, thank you. Oh, thank you, all right, good job, man. I told you how I felt, but thank you. Don't worry about it, man. You be back and strong. Thanks, man. Thank you. Much respect to your team. Hey, this is God. Hey, much respect to your team.
Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official particulars on the KO.
Ladies and gentlemen, courtesy of Wynn Las Vegas, the official time, 2 minutes 49 seconds of round number 9. The fight comes to an end. The winner by knockout victory and still the 2-time WBO welterweight champion of the world, Timothy Desert Storm Bradley.
Yeah, baby. Thank you. Thank you.
And let's go to Max Kellerman with the winner.
Tim, we're not used to seeing you score knockouts. Where did that come from?
You know what? First, I want to give all the praise and honor to God for this victory tonight and allowing me to be here today and at the stage again. I also want to give a shout out to all the veterans out there, baby. All the military veterans. I want to give a shout out to all the veterans. Thank you so much. And Team Bradley all the way, man. And all the fans that came out to support tonight. Thank you very much for coming out. Okay,
you got the shout outs. You earned them. Where did the knockout come from, Tim?
You know what? I seen him. I heard him early to the body. I kind of wanted to get him not thinking about it for a while, and then I went back downstairs. We've been working in the gym on this side step, kind of like this side step hook to the body, and I caught him. When I sidestepped him, I caught him right in the solar plex. I heard him grunt, and then I just went down to the body, and he went down.
You've had a long and really good career, but it seems to me and others ringside that that's the best we've seen you look how would you assess your performance?
You know what? That's great. I got a lot to learn. This is 7 weeks in the training camp with Mr. Atlas. You see, I looked at great tonight. Still got a lot to learn, but you know what? It did work tonight. A lot of things that he showed me did work tonight.
Now, this is your first fight with a new trainer, and you've had spectacular results tonight, much like Freddie Roach and Miguel Cotto seem to click and get spectacular results. How close are you now, do you feel, to challenging the very top of boxing as you have throughout your career, especially in recent years, even though you've only had 7 weeks together so far?
We had 7 weeks. I wonder what a year would do. I wonder what 2 years would bring. Like I said, I still got a lot to learn, but you know, we put it together tonight. I got a knockout win against a great champion and a great opponent in Brandon Rios, who's tough and gritty and can take shots. I don't know, the sky's the limit from here, I believe. And Teddy said already he's coming back to camp. He's coming back to train me for my next training camp, so I'm excited about that.
I mean, if he wouldn't after that, what would bring him back? Thank you, Tim.
Thank you very much.
Brandon, shocking to see you stopped in a fight, especially against a guy who's not known as a puncher. What happened?
My body is not the same no more. I've been in a lot of wars, and you know what? I think it's time to hang it up, you know? I had a great performance with Timothy Bradley in my career. I'm done. I think that's it. You know, it was a great run. It is what it is. I'd like to thank the fans for coming out, supporting this, even though I didn't give a great show, but fuck it is what it is. I don't want to hurt my body. I don't want to hurt my family. I don't want my close friends around me. So, you know, I think it's time for me to hang up the gloves. After an 8 month layoff, it's fucking bullshit. You know, I was 8 months without training and come back in gym, it's fuck. So at the end of the day, you know, when I try to get back in, my body wasn't reacting the same. So it is what it is. I think it's done for me. I'll hang up the gloves and say, call it a night.
Obviously a very emotional moment for you. Thanks for talking.
No problem, man.
So what was it? Did Tim Bradley and Teddy Atlas really have something special that night? Or did Brandon Rios' failure to prepare hand them a gimme, in effect? We'll all find out for sure April 9th, when Bradley goes back into the ring for his third meeting with Manny Pacquiao, live on HBO pay-per-view in Las Vegas the evening of April 9. Don't miss it.